Have the Demons gotten the best out of Josh Gordon again, or are the Browns being the Browns again? Crazy news on a Saturday. Josh Gordon is going to get, quote-unquote, released or traded on Monday, or this next coming week, I should say. Who knows what happened? Right now, we know nothing. There have been reports that have come out. There are different things that are being said. Let me just say this from the jump. If there's no drug problem here, if he was truly cut because he was late to practice and he lied about how he was injured, I would absolutely 100% give him a chance in Philadelphia. If it was the last straw and it wasn't drugs, yes, you bring him in. And if he acts up, you cut him. It's very simple. I think the Eagles have a locker room that can handle his antics, to be honest. But again, it goes back to there better not be a suspension looming. There better not be a relapse here. And that's the thing, too. It's like, even if he didn't relapse, you're taking the chance that he will once he comes to Philadelphia. There's obviously a huge risk here if you do it. But in my opinion, if you bring him in, he fails that drug test or he does something stupid, you just cut him. And that's it. This receiving core, I think, needs some help right now. Who knows when Alshon Jeffrey's going to be back? We saw the Eagles bring in a bunch of wideouts that run nothing but go routes this past week. Although they signed someone that doesn't run go routes in Kamar Aiken. But Rashad Perriman, Corey Coleman, those were two guys that they looked at. And those are guys that run go routes. They're not good guys that run go routes, but that's what they do. But Josh Gordon, he does it better. All right, now I'm going to get into some of the reports and some of the things that are being said. So I got my Eagles thoughts out of the way. Now let's just get into Gordon in general and kind of what I've heard. So I'm sure many of you have seen the Ian Rappaport tweet/report here, and he goes on Josh Gordon. He was late today to the facility, source said. In addition, he was fine at Friday's practice, then injured his hamstring. The question of how is part of the reason they released him. My understanding is it's an overall trust issue for a player on thin ice. So you have that from Ian Rappaport. Then you have this from Adam Schefter, and he says that Josh Gordon hurt his hamstring at a promotional shoot, not at practice, per source. So you have that from Adam Schefter. The other thing about this situation, the reason why I said release/trade on Monday, Josh Gordon is a vested vet, so he's not subject to waivers. If he's cut, he's a free agent, and he can sign wherever he wants. So I would think that Cleveland would try and get something out of him. Obviously, the teams that are potentially inquiring, I'm sure they want to know what's really going on and what's really happening. And actually, there is a report already from I believe it's Schefter. Let me go to his Twitter and see if it is from him. But it sounds like multiple teams have already. Okay, here we go. Teams already calling the Browns, who the league sources believe are far more likely to trade Josh Gordon than release him. So if teams are already calling the Browns, they obviously want to know what's really going on with Josh Gordon and if he's not using the drugs again. But the fact that teams are calling, obviously there's interest, and we'll see, kind of who comes up with Gordon. The team that I don't want to get Josh Gordon is Dallas. Dallas right now, they have guys that run nothing but routes that are less than 10 yards. If they get Josh Gordon, they make up for their mistake of releasing Des Bryant. But again, that's if, and I mean if, Des Bryant or Josh Gordon is clean. Because there is this report as well from this is Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland.com. And a part of her report, it says, team doctors examined Gordon, and in addition to a hamstring issue, there was concern that perhaps he had relapsed and was struggling with his substance use again. He was told to stay home from the team's trip to New Orleans for tomorrow's game against the Saints, and one source said he was mad at himself for letting the team down. So this report is stating that they speculated that, I guess they're speculating that he's using again. I'm curious about this part because if I know the rules correctly, if they would have tested him and he did come up positive, they would have to report the findings to the league, I think. And, maybe they're just looking out for him by just cutting him and not making him go through that again, another suspension. I think that's the rule if I know correctly. I could be wrong, so I'm sorry about that if I am. But there's that as well. So Josh Gordon, just craziness. His last catch as a Brown is the one that tied the game against Pittsburgh in Week 1. Sad story. Sad story. A guy that wasted his talent. It's sad. It really is.